Good morning. Good morning, everybody. It's Saturday morning, and you know what time it is every Saturday morning at 9 a.m.? No guts, no story. Never fails a day on a Saturday that I am not live at 9 on all the things on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, on LinkedIn. This is definitely the best part of my whole week because on Saturday mornings, I get to come to you and share experiences and energy and testimonies and lessons and visions, and I love sharing with everyone on Saturday morning. So thank you for tuning in. Let me know how long you've been watching this morning broadcast, and also you can catch the podcast on Spotify. I know my soon to be son in law, he just sets up all the things. I don't know where they're all at, but he sets up all the things and pushes these lives to all the places where you can listen to them on a podcast, and even got me all the equipment for a podcast room. Here's the issue: I don't stay in one place long enough to really set up the room. But today, I am home, and it is the month of March. Normally, when the month of March comes, all of my sisters and I were born in the month of March, and Dave's brother and I shared a birthday in March. So normally all of March, I'm like, it's my birthday, and it's all about me all March. I will tell you, I didn't even know what day it was yesterday. I didn't even realize it was birthday month. We have been in the trenches, literally working harder than we've ever worked in our life. But I will tell you something, we are manifesting miracles, and it's crazy how they're happening, and I want you to experience some of that amazing faith and energy. So first, I want to just say to everybody, thank you for tuning in. Drop in the comments where you're tuning in from today. This crazy Kansas weather, you don't know whether it's going to be summer, spring, or winter, and some days you get all three in one day. So this morning I was like, I need a warm coat. I ran to town, got all my errands done. I woke up today at 3:45, and I was so jacked because I knew I was going to have a full day work done before anybody started blowing up my phone. And it just feels good to know that you have your list done, you have a game plan, you have a vision, you know where you're going. And I'm telling you, not only did I wake up excited to get going, I woke up rested. I've been taking this little product called Sync, and I don't sleep a lot. Many of you know that, but boy, when I do with that product, I sleep better than I've ever slept, and I wake up just not feeling tired. And so that's a plus, right? So anyway, today I want to talk to you guys about faith and manifestations. And I don't care what faith you are. Every religion that you look at, it all pretty much points you in the same direction. And no matter what, it really comes down to you and what you believe. Now, I know what my beliefs are, and they work for me. And I have stacked evidence that makes those beliefs so concrete. And when you don't have stacked evidence, you might not believe. But when you have stacked evidence, one on top of another, on top of another, on top of another, pretty soon you're like, this is the way, the life, and the truth, right? But what about people who don't have any of that? What about the people who are completely lost? They're like, I might as well just give up. Like, nothing ever works out for me. They're struggling to pay their bills. They're behind on their mortgage. Their relationships are falling apart. They don't like the people they work with. They feel like their boss isn't fair to them. Their credit card debts are high. Their grocery bill is big. Gas is going up. Like all the things. What do you say to those people? And I'm going to tell you that because I was one of those people. Back against the wall, didn't want to hear about positive thinking. And nobody does when they're in the deep. Nobody wants to hear about positive thinking when they're in the deep because really, I mean, that just makes them mad. They're struggling, they're grieving, they're heartbroken, they're scared, whatever. And you're over here like, find the good, find the good. It's so annoying when you're the one that's going through the muck, right? But I want to tell you a couple of things that happened for me during a chapter like that, and a lesson that I learned that has really served me for the last 27, 28 years. And my mentor was really, really good at this. First of all, we have to take personal responsibility for where we're at right now. And I know that's really, really hard. I mean, in 2001, when Dave's little brother took his life, and there were people raiding our company, and we didn't know the company was going to go out of business, and there was just all kinds of turmoil happening. I remember looking around me like, why me? Like, am I ever going to get my husband back to normal? Am I ever going to have my happy family again? Like, are we ever going to stop crying every day? Is my income going to go away? Like, there were all of these fears, right? But what I knew is there were things that I could control, and there were things that I could not control. But I like to think that I could control everything. So, how many of you are control freaks? Drop in the comments, control freak. I didn't know until I really dug deep into my own subscars and beliefs that my control issues happened clear back when I was a little girl. And so, I've done a lot of intense therapy and learning and breakthroughs and seminars and masterminds and weekends. And what I didn't know, I mean, never would I have blamed my personality traits or my stop programs or my blocks in my limiting beliefs. I never would have ever said, "Oh, that's because of my mom." Like, I might have blamed it on my dad. I might have blamed it on an ex-boyfriend or maybe a teacher, but never would I have said, "Oh, that's because of my mom." And it was funny because in a recent seminar where they were really peeling back the layers, and your life, it's kind of like an onion, right? And you're going to peel it back one layer at a time. And as Les Brown says, sometimes you might cry. And it's those times, and I know you hate hearing this, but it's those times that you really get the conditioning for the capacity that you can actually grow and handle. Because think of all the great stories out there. Drop in the comments who's a great success story of someone that you love. Everybody tell me someone that you love, and I'm watching your comments as they're coming up. Don't be afraid to say who your mentor is. Some people love and some people hate my mentor. Some of the greats that have come and gone. Some people loved them. Some people couldn't even stand to listen to them. But we all have somebody, right, that we look up to. We love their story. We just say, "Oh my gosh, like that's the greatest success story. They're such an incredible mentor." Who is it for you? I'm dying to see who you're going to say. Come on, guys. You got to be thinking of someone. Oh, Lindsay Testa. That's the sweetest thing you ever said. Okay, so we're going to use Lindsay. Lindsay, when you think of your mentor, what are some things that you admire about that person? And drop them in the comments. Donna says, my dad. Donna, drop in the comments, what are some things that you really admire about your dad? Tell me what it is. And I'm going to help you guys understand that the very things that you admire about people would not be there without the challenges and the failures and the setbacks, that those people had. So this morning, I was reading a great book that got sent to me by Maxandra de Rosier, and she's always been my spiritual coach. So I have spiritual coach, I have financial coach, I have direct selling company coach, I have somebody I look up to because of a marriage that they have. Everybody that I'm not going to go follow my banker's advice about how to build a network marketing company. Just like I'm not going to go follow my favorite person on Instagram that branded their self, with their branding techniques on how I should maybe improve my uh, real estate empire. Everything is different because those people's experience is what you're drawing from. So Donna says his hard work ethic. So if we go back to the beginning, Lindsay says authenticity when she's talking about me. Donna says hard work ethics with her dad. Donna, why do you think your dad works so hard? And let's think about that. Why do you think he works so hard? Where did that come from? Where did that root come from? And when Lindsay says authenticity, I will tell you the authenticity came, And I was talking to one of my favorite mentors this week. I mean, she's literally probably the greatest of all time in direct sales. And she actually spent 1 year in a federal prison. And I told her, I said, I love when you share that story. And she said, I always figured it was better just to share the story and tell it before someone went and dug it up. So clear back in 1996, when I was first having a little bit of success, I used to want to look good, look successful. I was trying to show that I was living the dream, but actually had no money. So the vision was that I was going to have money. The vision that I was going to be a great leader. The vision was that I was going to have this amazing family and we were going to have time freedom and live our dreams. But at the time, I couldn't even get my dog out of the pound. Like $75 was a stretch. And I was like, how am I going to get my dog out of the pound? I don't want them to do something with my dog. True story. And so when I was going and doing a presentation for people talking about time freedom and financial freedom, it was not easy to do that when you were having a hard time paying to rent the room at the Elks. So for me, it was easier to be authentic than to be fake. And for some people, they've never been humbled. They've never had their back against the wall. They've never learned the lesson that if you don't humble yourself, God will do it for you. And so what happens is they're not going to be authentic. They're not going to be authentic until they've been through something that is so painful and it is so raw that they think the only way I can find good in this is to help other people that are going through this. And that very financial setback was the reason we wrote a book. It was the reason we could talk to people about financial freedom. We were so relatable because everyone was experiencing the same thing financially. It was a recession. It was terrible. Oil was $7 a barrel. And so our authenticity came from back against the wall, bankrupt beautician, car repossessed, Dave getting arrested for a hot check for $7 because Chance was lactose intolerant, and you have this colic baby that cries all day. Like, it was a crappy, crappy time, but it was conditioning us for the best of times. So this morning, I was reading this book that my spiritual coach sent me, Max, and I read the whole thing. I mean, it was 3:45 in the morning, so it's not like I could really talk to anybody at the time. But for people that don't know how to command the morning with prayer, they don't know how to pray, they don't know what to say. When I look at this book, it is just like the roadmap, the recipe. It's exactly the right words to say to speak favor over your day, your life, your health, your business, your products, your family, your children, just all the things. But most of us don't wake up manifesting what we want. Most of us wake up worrying about the very thing we don't want to happen. And I'm guilty. And we just start spewing out everything, like everything we're afraid of, everything we're worried about, everything we feel betrayed of, everything that we're angry, we're scared, we're predicting things that probably aren't even ever going to happen, but we're like playing out the worst case scenario. And how you start your day is how you're going to end your day. How you start your month is how you're going to end your month. And how you start your year is how you're going to end your year. And it's okay to mess up a few weeks, but if you mess up week after week after month after year, and then you're at the end of your life, I mean, it's really the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. The pain of discipline or the pain of regret. So I look at the different things that Dave and I have been through. And I say, what was the pivotal point that took us from where we were at to where we wanted to be? And it was always the same equation. So if I tell all of you, Dave's mom has this incredible recipe for a chocolate sheet cake, and any of my family that's watching this right now, every kid, every niece, every nephew, my mom, Dave's dad, it doesn't matter who it is. If they hear me say chocolate sheet cake, they say, oh my goodness, like it's the best recipe ever. But I will tell you, when Dave's mom passed away, we said, oh my gosh, who's going to make the chocolate sheet cake? Who's going to make the chocolate sheet cake? And Chance said, let me try. So here's the thing. there was a certain pan, and the certain pan was a certain depth. And there's a pinch of cinnamon. And if you don't think that pinch of cinnamon makes a difference, try it without the cinnamon. Everybody's going to tell you, like, that's not as good as Nana Cindy's. So I thought, man, I'm going to master this, right? So I try to make the sheet cake and I do it almost right, but I don't have the solid Crisco. So I think I'm just going to put in a little bit of liquid Crisco. It's not the same. I don't have the exact pan. I have a little deeper pan. It's not the same. This recipe is so good because it's only about this deep, and the top of it is coated in like a chocolate with some cinnamon fudge frosting. It's all homemade. Everything about it is homemade. Cocoa and butter and oh my goodness, like your mouth is watering. But a lot of people try to make the recipe and they can't get it right. Well, there's always this missing piece. And our belief systems are the same way. I have an opportunity today that 8,000 customers have the same opportunity. I have a way to make an income. And there's probably 500 people that have made a decision like, I'm going to make an income with the same opportunity. But my vision and my belief is probably different than other people's vision and belief. Now, I will tell you, there were 12 or 15 people with me last June, and I had this same exact vision and belief. There were some believers, there were some that wanted to believe, there were some that didn't believe, and there were some that were right place, right time, and had everything in alignment. Maybe they just couldn't catch the vision for themselves, right? So, our belief system is like software. Now, this week, not even kidding, over $100,000 spent on software in a matter of turning something on for a month. $100,000 spent on software and programming. Thousands of people coming in as customers. Thousands of people wanting to get paid a commission. I'm not a software programmer. I don't even know how to log into the software, right? But one tiny little equation not right in the programming, and guess what? The recipe doesn't come out. So then there was troubleshooting and making sure, and then an audit to make sure every commission is paid perfectly. Like I have been watching this happen for 2 solid weeks and making it just perfect. So there's never a mistake and it hums like a well-oiled machine, because one thing you don't want to mess up is somebody's commissions, right? We're building authenticity and trust and integrity. But do you know what? People have to have a vision of where they want to be in order to get that to all come out right. And whether it's the programmer writing the code or whether it's the person expecting the commission, the vision that they see is everything. So I'm going to give you guys a quick example. The first time we were ready to turn on the software, they called us and said, wait a minute, this isn't how you explained it when we programmed it. It's right, but it's flipped. There was a 40 and a 60, and it was flipped to be a 60 and a 40. And like that wasn't going to work, right? So then we couldn't turn it on because it wasn't right. And then they said, oh, just a tiny little change in the programming, everything came out perfect. So I want to ask you guys a question. Who's programming your software? And why does Barb and Dave Pitcock join a company in 1996? And Joe Wood, who is now our formulator in the laboratory with the chemist, was at the exact same place at the exact same time in the exact same company at the exact same global Korean launch. We were all at the same place. Joe's life took him one direction. Dave and Barb's life took them a different direction. But we both got the exact result we desired. Why is that? Because we believed we could. Why was that? Because someone showed us that it was possible. And how did that happen? Because someone had been through what we had been through that could say, I know how you feel. I felt the same way. Let me show you what I found out. Come with me. I'll help you, right? Be the person that somebody was once for you. Who is that person that you look up to that was like there for you or did something for you or shared with you? I'm going to read you something really quick. I love reading. How many of you guys read books? How many of you are like, I don't have time to read books? Well, get up earlier or stay up late or put it in the bathroom because you really need good information. We hear this all the time that we all have this divine power within us. But have you ever wondered if you truly have a power within you and maybe you doubted it? What does it mean? How can you access it? How could it impact your life? It's a system, you guys. It's a system where you plug into it and you do it consistently and it works 100% of the time. And the system is you and your mindset and your beliefs, because the beliefs is what makes you take action. And the action you take is what stacks the confidence. And the confidence you get creates the activity. And the activity you do is what gets you the results, right? And what I know to be true is that every thought I have is a prayer and I manifest that, because the power of the tongue and what we speak and what we believe is how we act in faith. So last June, I said, get ready. We are going to fill the warehouse. Last June, I said, everybody is getting in. Last June, when I had no money coming in, no leaders, no opportunity, didn't even have a good tasting product yet, I said, this will be the biggest thing we've ever done. And this setback, it's temporary. Get ready, the comeback is coming. And I want you guys to say that to yourselves. Get ready, the comeback is coming. This setback is temporary. It's giving you the fuel, it's giving you the fire, it's giving you the conditioning to be maximum capacity. Because people who never have any adversity can't handle success. The success that you have, you attract and you manifest based on the conditioning years, based on the character building years, based on the lessons that you learned from all the times you failed that nobody really ever knows about, because those are not the times that you remember. Some people know what you've been through, and some people want to keep digging that up. But what I know is when we focus on what we want instead of what we don't want, we get more of that. And everybody sets goals. How many of us set goals on January 1st this year? Anybody else? How many of you are crushing those goals right now? And how many of you need to restart? Well, you know what? It's the beginning of a new 90-day run, right? March is a week in, and pretty soon it's going to be April. Now, when I talk to you about goals, some of you say, oh, I'm too old. I had this conversation with my daughter yesterday, and she has been so conditioned and so many character building years, and she has such an amazing story. Like, I just look forward to the day that I see what God does with this situation. Like, I can't wait to see her just thrust into this brand new chapter of abundance and happiness and love and forgiveness. And sometimes when people are going through stuff, it's really hard to watch. Maybe you have someone you love that's really sick with a life-threatening disease. Maybe you have someone you love that's really struggling financially, or someone broke their heart, or maybe they're struggling with depression, or maybe addiction, or maybe it's a kid that's gotten into trouble. I had a mom call me the other day, and her boy's a high school boy and he's in so much trouble, and she wanted me to pray for him, and she said, I just don't know how to stay living in this small town with all of these people that make it so bad. She said, I just don't want him to do something crazy. Like, I don't want him to take his life. And I said to her, don't think that. Don't speak that. Don't give that any power, because where we're at right now, at this very moment, every single one of us is the sum total of our thoughts, our words, the things that we manifested. And you can't blame yourself for things that other people do, but you also can't give the enemy any power, right? Because every day we're all from a championship bloodline. We all come from the same bloodline, you guys, and we're all sisters and brothers, right? But yet there are people that want to judge this person, that person, the next person because maybe they're not like them. This is why people hate Christianity. This is why we can't get people to want to be a part of a church or a believer because they have been hurt. They have been judged by the very people who are posting the Bible verse and then talking crap on the broken, right? And the truth is, we bring about what we sow. So we got to be sowing good seeds. We got to be speaking good things. We got to be visualizing exactly what we want. And in the midst of everything that I've ever been through, I could always see an outcome that was a victory. I don't get upset about the naysayers. I don't get afraid of the people that try to tear down the empire. I don't react to the ones that throw stones or do a podcast about me or publish something. Like, I don't care because I know who I am. And I want you to stand up and put your shoulders back and state your name, the first, middle, and last, and say, "Here I am." Like, I am enough. I'm from a championship bloodline. I'm going to have victory. I'm going to like speak it into fruition. What are you going to do that's going to impact the world? Like, if you died tomorrow, there would be the day you were born, there would be the day that you died, and there will be this little dash. In one of my favorite stories, for those of you that have read my book, I never knew this, but when a plane goes down, they don't look for all the people that were in the plane that are somewhere in the mountains or the hills or the field or wherever the plane crash was. That is not what they look for. They look for a little black box. And this little black box doesn't say why, the person in row 55 was on the plane or how many people. It doesn't say anything. It says where the plane started and where the plane went down and what happened in between that time. And you, I'm telling you, every single one of you are surrounded by people that need what you have. People that are watching you, your kids, your grandkids, your neighbor, your teammate, someone you haven't even met yet. And when you walk in the room, you either light up the room or when you leave, they call you sunshine because the whole damn place brightens up. And we all have those people because they're so limited in their beliefs. They're so beat down themselves. Their little black box has had so much crap happen in it. It's not them, it's what's happened to them. Nothing is wrong with them. Don't ask what's wrong with them. Don't ask what's wrong with me. Say, what happened to me that made me get to this point? And for me, you guys, that little black box has been so many conditioning years where I had this vision. I could see that it was coming. I had no idea how it was going to happen, but I knew that it was going to happen. And the trouble with goals is we can write them down, but we're usually depending on other people. The trouble with goals is that we know what we could do, but every time we operate on 10% of our actual potential, we believe less and less and less that we're actually ever going to do it. So there's a big difference in self confidence and self esteem. Self confidence says, I know that I can go do this. I'm good at this. Self esteem says, this is the way that I feel about myself when I'm in the room. This is the way that I feel about myself when I'm around other people. And the self esteem part is the limiting beliefs that you have based on things that have happened in your life. And that's what I want to talk about because you've got to get a new vision. You've got to manifest the person you want to become. You have got to make a move. Like, success is not going to attack you. You're going to have to be uncomfortable. You're going to have to go through hard times. You're going to have to fail. You're going to have to fail. And you're going to have to fail again and again and again. And pretty soon you're going to be like, what could I have done better? Because, like, I'm tired of losing. I want to win. But some people are never even coachable enough to know, like, let me help you win. Dave and I were listening to a book that I would highly recommend. And it's just talking about practicing the art of surrender. And my favorite chapter on Audible, when I listen to it, I always go back to chapter 7 over and over and over again. And last week, when we were driving 7 hours, we listened to the Soul Plan. But the only time we get to listen is midnight or 5 in the morning, because if we're not midnight or 5 in the morning driving, then our phones are ringing off the wall, right? But we've got to take time to just unplug and grow. We're either growing or we're dying. I have a brand new vase of flowers that Brooklyn got me in the kitchen. And, if I leave for a week and come back and she doesn't put new flowers in, it's stinky water. It's disgusting. It's moldy. It's brown. The petals are falling everywhere. The yellow, I love lilies, but there's nothing worse than a dead vase of lilies, right? They're either growing or they're dying. And the only way for it to grow is to put new stems in. The only way for your business to grow, put new people in. The only way for you to grow, put new jelly in the donut. You ever seen a jelly filled donut? It's really, really hard. Dave hates jelly in a donut. Like, he'll get a Long John and think, oh my God, this is going to be the best maple Long John. And he takes one bite of that and there's like pudding or something in it. He is a texture guy. Like, he's gagging, throwing it out the window, saying cuss words. Like, you know, it's hard to get new jelly in a donut, but you've got to do it and you've got to stack beliefs. And so affirmations work, manifestations work. I am so humbled and I am so like amazed at God's work. And it's not me. Any of you that know me, like, it's not me. Any of you that know my story, um, I have been speaking and saying and praying and believing with so much patience and discernment for many, 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 many months. And now it's like it's bamboo season. Like, it is like I just have to get out of the way. I cannot believe the way that I see God's hand on this amazing masterpiece that is coming to fruition. And let's talk about a masterpiece, because every single one of you are one. Any of you watched the movie Ghost with Demi Moore and Patrick Swayze, I think? I mean, oh my gosh, a tear just fell out of my eye. That's weird. I was just going to say, she is so beautiful when she cries. I mean, you want to just make her cry just so you could watch her cry, right? And you can see her like sitting there and she's working on that masterpiece and it keeps falling off the pottery wheel. And one of my favorite stories to tell is about the potter, because how do you get a masterpiece piece of pottery? You knead it and you smash it and you throw it and you smash it and you knead it and then you wring it out and you spread it out. And like, you literally have to break this thing down over and over and over again to get out the dirt, to get out the sand, to get out the stone, to get out the chunks. And that's exactly what God is trying to do to me and you. He knows there's this masterpiece. He wants to use you, your story, your authenticity, your mentor that you followed, good or bad, right? The beliefs that you have and the story that you have, it's no mistake. It's no mistake. Nothing will keep you from your destiny except for you. And when you have something in your heart and you feel it, you've got to speak it into fruition. You've got to believe it with every ounce of your being. You've got to know that you have everything you need to be successful. I will tell you, when you close your eyes and you visualize this, it's none of your business how it's going to happen. It's going to happen. The resources will line up, the obstacles will get out of the way, the legal battles will be won, the naysayers will be destroyed. Like, the waters will part and you will have this Moses moment where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm the leader. I'm going to lead my people, right? But there's times where you're like, who am I to be leading these people? And there's other times you're like, if they knew my life right now, they would literally die. Like, if anyone knew what I was going through, there's no way. Like, you're looking in the mirror like, oh, nobody would want to be involved with me. Nobody would want me to lead their people. Nobody would want to marry me. Nobody would want to hire me. Nobody would want me to be their upline. Like, all these limiting beliefs. And that's why. That's why. Because you actually believe that. And so what happens is, when someone would ask you on a date, you sabotage that. When a top leader would join under you, and I have seen this happen so many times, you guys. I was on the phone one day with someone that had 1 million in volume ready to join and said, don't say anything. And they were talking to someone. And that very person that they were talking to, trying to decide if they wanted to do our company or a different company, that very person was over here like, nobody would want to join under me. Like, I've never had big success. It's probably not even going to work for me. And they're in panic mode, just sabotaging the very success that I see God trying to bless our business with. And it's heartbreaking for me to see someone with so much potential and zero belief in themselves. So when I talk about vision, this chapter 7 of mastering this art of surrender, it's literally Michael Singer talking about just complete visualization of the outcome that you want, complete surrender of what the outcome's going to be. Like, no matter what anyone else does, it doesn't matter. If everyone in your life quit you and it was only you, you would still get the outcome that you wanted. It would be painful. You would be heartbroken, but nothing would stop you from your destiny. And he talks about people that go into panic mode, right? And it was so weird because this week, my daughter and Dave and I all did this incredible therapy session. And this lady was saying the exact same thing that was on that book. And she said, it's so crazy because you look at people and they're this close to like a huge breakthrough. They're this close to victory. They're this close to like the man of their dreams or the job that they always wanted or an incredible breakthrough in their business. But the littlest thing, and they're in like 6 inches of water and they're face down and they're like, I'm drowning, I'm drowning, I'm drowning, I'm drowning. And what do we try to do when someone's drowning? Like, we want to save them, right? But we can't save them. Only they can make a decision to change their vision, change their words, change their thoughts, change their actions. And the more we try to save the people that don't want to be saved, what happens if you jump in a pool with someone that's drowning and you try to save them? They're pulling you down with them. And this is what happens when we have conversations day after day after day with people that don't have the vision. When you're around people that are tearing down instead of building up. When you're around people that say, oh, the economy is so bad, it's the government's fault, we need a different president, compared to when you're around people that say, this economy is bad, but this is my time to really capitalize because like no one else is buying the houses and no one else thinks a network marketing company will work. You guys, I have heard so many people say all the reasons why nothing is good right now. And I'm turning off the news. I'm waking up, commanding my morning, speaking my affirmations, creating and manifesting every single thing I want with just such conviction at a time when everyone else is saying it's not going to work. The system is broken. It's falling apart. It's a terrible economy. People are too broke. Nobody will travel. You guys, we just sold out 2 hotels and we're on our way to selling out a third hotel with a 30-day notice, like 30 days from now, for an event that we're just now planning. Why? Because we see it, we visualize it, we speak it, we know it. And I want to tell you, these horrible recessions happen because of a whole bunch of people speaking, acting, saying, and believing all the same thing. And you can be a difference maker. You've got to take this month of March and say, I am going to manifest every single day. Write down and picture where you want to be. When I was 18, I visualized 3 kids in the country, network marketing, amazing husband, and I was dating a guy. Little did I know he never was able to have kids. Little did I know why it was such a horrible relationship. Little did I know why he was messing up every downline I would try to build, right? I didn't know Dave Pitcock was going to come in my life. I didn't know Brooklyn Chance and Callie. I didn't know that someone was going to build this house in the country and then decided to move to the city and I was just going to be able to buy the house of my dreams. I didn't know any of that. I was bankrupt. I was broken. I was sad. I had red hair and freckles and no self esteem. I didn't even know where my dad was. He had abandoned us. I was babysitting my mom's babies, all 4 of them, right? And trying to go to beauty school. Like, my life was a mess, but it created such a message. In a recent therapy session, when I asked you at the beginning of this call, how many of you are control freaks? There was a lady that said, I think I know what your problem is. And I said, problem? And she goes, it stems back to your mom. I go, oh, it's not my mom. Like, my mom is my hero. Like, she is the one, the single mom that got up from everything and all the brokenness and, all of the betrayal. And like, she lost her dad and she lost her husband and she lost her house and she lost her cars. And like, we all moved in a little trailer house together and we all slept five in a bed. And the little one said, roll over. Like, no, my mom is amazing. And she said, no, I know she is. But she said, it's the childhood where you were the mom and your mom was trying to survive. And it was up to you to take care of everyone. And during this time, you develop these beliefs that if you didn't fix it, if you didn't take care of everyone, if you weren't the one that was the last to go to bed and the first one up that fixed everything and solved everything and loved everybody and prepared everybody, she's like, that's the problem. And what you have to do is realize it's your own limiting beliefs that slow down your capacity because you think that if you don't do it, it can't happen. She said, if you want a maximum capacity and you really want to manifest, you have to allow other people to take control. You have to believe in other people that they can do it without you. You have to realize that the people that are in 6 inches of water screaming, I'm drowning, I'm drowning, I'm drowning, I'm drowning. Sometimes you have to let them figure it out. And some might drown, and you can't save everybody. All you can do is speak and believe and move forward in a way that you could be a light to these people. And oh my gosh, you guys, I'm like, how am I going to not fix this? How am I going to let them go? How am I going to surrender, if you will? Like, I would become as sad as them. I would become as mad as them. I would become as sick as them. Like, I just thought I could save the whole world, and then one day I decided I was going to surrender it. And I started speaking. All relationships will be healthy. All kids will be healthy. All things will be amazing. All businesses will flourish. All finances will 10 times. All the right leaders will come. Like, the perfect product is going to line up. It's none of our business how it happens. It's just going to happen. We are going to change the freaking world. Like, it's going to be amazing and it's going to be the fastest growing and it's going to be almost effortless and people are going to be calling begging to join. We're not even going to have to work that hard. Well, we are having to work really, really hard. So I haven't completely mastered that, right? Like, success is not just going to attack you. It's going to take some time, but the most important thing you have to do is believe it. Like, I saw this long before it ever came to be. And people talk about Walt Disney and they walk around Disney World and they say, it's sad that Walt Disney didn't live long enough to see Disney World built. And then people that know Walt Disney say, oh, he saw it. Like, he saw it better than they even built it because it was his vision that created this incredible, massive movement, right? It's kind of like this carpenter, right? It's kind of like the story with the Sermon on the Mount. He could see it, he could believe it. Not everybody believed it. Not everybody followed it, and a lot of people tried to stop it. But the vision he had could not be stopped. And you guys, that is the same for each and every one of you. You will co create your own destiny. There is a book that's being written. You have the pen in your hand. The plot twist is all yours. You decide. You make a decision. You draw a line in the sand. You take faith, risk, is a complete contradiction. Faith without a risk is a complete contradiction. So if you truly believe and you surrender it and you say, this is going to happen for me, I'm telling you, it can happen for you. And I'll just read for you. I literally wake up in the morning and pray over every leader in my company. I pray over every family member, but it's things like this. This is the no matter what you're going through. Thank you, I'm alive. Many who also slept yesterday are dead, but not me. Today I woke up alive. Thank you for the miracle of sleeping and waking up. Even if that's the only thing you can be thankful for. Thank you for the hand of protection over my family throughout the night. Thank you for protecting everything I own and allowing me not to suffer any loss throughout the night. Thank you for the dreams that you showed me during the night and the instructions and the spirit that's leading me. Thank you for the direction and the protection and the favor. Thank you for the benefits of today. Thank you for the power that you give me, that power that you have that can never fail. Thank you for saving me. Thank you for being my shield. Thank you. And saying, I bless you. Saying you're grateful for someone. You want to bless other people. You can't just sit and look at your problem and expect that your problem's going to get better if you're not willing to go kneel down and help the people that are struggling like you. And I'm going to tell you guys, if you're mourning, go help somebody that's experiencing grief. If you're heartbroken, go help somebody that's heartbroken. If you're struggling with a certain thing, go share your story and help somebody that's struggling with a certain thing. You know, the women that can help repair a marriage, they're the women that have been cheated on or broken. You know, the men that can help someone become financially free, they're the men that failed financially. You look at the preacher that can really move a crowd, Pastor Todd in Tulsa, Oklahoma, tells his story of addiction to pornography. Like his book, Relationship Goals, every husband and wife should do that book. It's amazing. Yet there are some people that they say, oh, I could never be successful at that because, like, I am a sinner. I could never be successful at that because I lost everything. You know, I could never go build a business because my horrible mistake I made was viral on all social media and the whole world read about me in the news. You guys, for everything that you say is a reason you can't do it, someone went and did it bigger than ever because they had the exact setback that you have, that you're making an excuse. They're making impact. This manifestation exercise is literally you getting a little card and you writing down your life as if it's already happened. All of my bills are paid. All of my children are healthy. Everyone is in great relationships. We are a very close family. We work together to make impact. Our businesses are exploding. Our debts are completely paid off. We are investing in good business investments. We are in alignment with amazing leaders. We are surrounded by people that bring energy and don't take. There is no toxic. It's all good. Like when you speak the things as if they've already happened, you will act as if they have already happened. And when you act like the person that has already achieved that, you achieve it almost by osmosis. Almost by osmosis. This week, I was sitting at a table with a guy, very humble to be sitting at the table, many weeks in a row. And I said, I will never have my feelings hurt. Please tell me what I can do to improve and get better. And he said, if I ever see anything, with your permission, I will tell you. You guys, the problem is most people don't want to hear any constructive criticism. They don't want to hear any of that. They only want to hear the good. They don't want anyone to question them. They don't want anyone to coach them. Their teachability index is everything. And some people, it's a 1 out of 10. When you're teachable and you're coachable and you listen to what I just said, and you write out your year, December 31st, 2024, where you're at, how much you earn, where you live, who you're with, what you're doing, what you've experienced. Your book is written, your vacation is planned, your debts are paid, your income is X amount. You should know that income amount like you know your name. If I say, what's your name? And you say Donna, and I say, what's your number? You should know your number. And that number is not a negotiable. Because here's what I will tell you. You last month you had exactly what you needed and probably not much more. Do you know why? Because it wasn't a wish. It wasn't a want. It was like, I need this much to get by. So for some of you, you're comfortable. And if it works, great. And if it doesn't work, great. In your relationship, if it works, great. If not, it's an easy out. Everybody treats everything like that. They're just casual about it. And it's why there's so many casualties. You can't be casual about your destiny. You can't be casual about your time that you have here between where the dash is. You can't be casual about the people that you love and the income that you want to make to have the time and the freedom to experience all the things with them, all the Kodak moments. I mean, I have friends right now that are battling life threatening diseases. And all I can think of is like, do we have time to go see them? Or can we go do something? Like, can we make memories? Dave and I stopped to see his cousin this week. And even in 3 months, there was such a difference in her health. And she's our age. And you just want to say, let's go to the lake. Let's walk through the zoo. Let's go to your favorite bookstore. It's moments, you guys. It's moments that you're never going to get back. And everybody's so worried about all the noise. Everybody's so worried about this comparison thing. Everybody's so worried about what everyone else is doing. I just want you to think about you and only you. You and I have an audience of one. At the end of this life, nothing else matters. My kids are actually going to complain about all the crap I have. Nobody's going to want all this stuff. But you know what they're going to cherish? How I made them feel, the pictures that we took, and the things that we did. So, why is that not the most important thing every single day? You want to know why? Because you are manifesting not enough money, not enough time, jerk for a boss, too old, too far, too much. Just stop. Plan the Disney vacation, make monthly payments. We wrapped it up in stockings, paid so much each month until we went, and we went to Hawaii and we all stayed at Alani Resort. You know why? We had a plan, we had a vision, we had a mapped out, here's how it's going to happen. So look at December, what you want to manifest, and reverse engineer what you're going to do each month. I don't care what your profession is. I don't care where you live, whether you're 18 and you're making 12 bucks an hour or you're 52 and you're making 12 bucks a minute. I don't care. It's the same recipe. No different than the chocolate cake. Leave out the cinnamon, you're not going to get there. No different than the people programming our tech. Leave out a comma, it's going to mess up the whole thing. And for those of you that are just working hard, oh, I'm a hard worker. I'm doing it. I'm a good person. I love everybody. I'm a great asset. I can bring this or that. It doesn't matter if you're a good person and you work hard and you have great talent and you're a great asset. If you don't visualize it as if you want to see it happen and dream so big, it will take you 2 lifetimes to live these dreams, then you're literally operating at like 10% of your actual potential. I have plans for this 22 acres. I have plans for places I haven't even went to visit yet. I know the lives I'm going to impact. I know the money it's going to take to do it. Am I tired? Heck yes. I'm normal. I mean, I mix this rise in my drink in the morning, and without it, I don't know how I would get through the day. But it is all day long, every day right now. I mean, at a level that nobody could even imagine. But guess what, guys? I visualize what's happening. And sometimes you're going to have to sacrifice and give up some things. You might not have your birthday week. You might not have the time sitting at the pool. You might not even go to your lake house for a month and a half. You might not get to go to every single birthday party. You might have to miss some events or ball games. But guess what? You decide. Temporary sacrifice, long term freedom. All you have to do is decide what you want. Visualize it. Lock arms with someone that actually believes like you do. Never lock arms with someone that doesn't believe, because you're going to get what they believe, right? You got to get your vision up, your dreams up, get them on the board, say them every day like they happened. And most importantly, you guys, act like the person that's already achieved all that before you ever do. Even if you're sitting at a table like, wow, I'm the least successful person at the table, that's good. That's the table you want to be at. You don't want to be the smartest one in the room. You don't want to be the best in the room. And you definitely never want to stop growing, because, like I said, you're either growing or you're dying. And for most people I see, it's the latter part. They're just barely getting by. They don't really care. They're like, it's okay. We'll be all right. things are going to get better. When the government changes, when my boss gives me a raise, one of these days, sometime. And guess what, guys? For a lot of people, one of these days never comes. And I'm just saying to you from experience, pain of discipline or pain of regret, what do you have to lose? What's the worst case scenario? You try it and you fail? Okay. Sitting with a billionaire last week, he's like, I failed like 50 times, but 5 times I got it right. Like I got it so right. And this is one of those times. I'm like, that's so awesome. How do you get it right? By growing through the times that aren't easy. Nobody's growing when they're winning. We only grow when we're getting our butt kicked. So what I tell people is embrace the suck, embrace the heartbreak, embrace the tomatoes everyone's throwing at you, embrace the legal battles, like embrace the financial disaster, embrace the mean relatives or the ex or whoever it is that's trying to steal your joy, and just be the light. You don't have to talk about it. You don't have to go get even with anybody. You don't have to blow their candle out to make yours burn brighter. Nobody even needs to know how much you dream about running over them with your car, right? I mean, just cancel it and think good thoughts. I mean, we all have those thoughts deep down, let's be honest. But you've got to have a little stop program that says cancel, cancel, cancel. And you take that little man in your ear off your shoulder, just like Dave talks about in his book. And you put the little man on the ground and you just smash him like an ant. You just put your foot back and forth like 10 times and you're like, there. Now, leave me alone, right? We all have to do that every single day. And you know who the little man is on your shoulder? Your worst enemy? It's you. It's your beliefs about yourself, the limiting beliefs because of what happened 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 20 years ago, that one time. Remember that one time? And the problem is, we just can't get the one time out of our mind to see the victory that we actually could win. And you guys, I'm seeing so many people winning. Literally, like I can't even keep up to recognize all the people that are winning. I mean, people are texting me like, "Hey, can you give me a shout out?" I'm like, "When did that happen?" It's amazing when you're in a circle of people, like-minded people who are manifesting miracles. They're manifesting money. They're manifesting better health. They're manifesting great relationships. They're manifesting incredible mentors and leaders. Like it's amazing when you see it work. But guess what? Just like you, I've had those months and weeks and days and sometimes years where I was like, is there ever going to be a plot twist here? And you guys, for some of you, the plot twist is right there. Like you're about to have bamboo season. It's almost time. Like you're about to spring into great success. But every time this blessing tries to come to you, your vibration is so low because of your emotions, the anger, the resentment, the jealousy, the envy of other people, not celebrating other people, intimidated by other people. Like those blessings cannot come to that closed mind, right? You've got to just surrender, just open up and say, Lord, I receive it. I claim it. It's coming for me. I'm stepping into it. This is going to be my best year of my life. You got to just let go of everything. Forgive, forgive, forgive. Text that person. Thank you for doing this to me. I love you. I forgive you. I'm sorry. Let's go. And then they're just over here like, oh my God, I just got a text from Barb or Amy or Rebecca or Vicky or whoever it was. And guess what, guys? It gives you power because now you're like got this whole like handcuffs off your legs. Like you got the shackles off of you to where you can just like go be great. But when we're closed with all these negative feelings, when we talk about them, we think about them, we stir them up, we regurgitate them, it literally stops the blessings from flowing because God's not going to bless that. The universe doesn't bless that. The laws of the universe do not reward that, right? We reap what we sow. So I am encouraging you, just stop the struggle. Just stop the pain. Find your purpose, focus in on it, Write it down, read it every day, visualize it, believe in yourself as much as I believe in you, and let's go make this a record breaking year. March is the month, guys. March is the month. Things are happening that I can't even believe are happening. And you know what it is? The power of the thoughts, the power of the mind, the power of the tongue, and the vision where you just see it happening as if it's already been done and you act accordingly. So, jump in with us, you guys. It's going to be an amazing ride. I want you to win so big. And all you have to do is participate in these daily, consistent habits. And pretty soon, that consistency is going to be like a success wheel that you can't stop. So, happy Saturday. I hope you got some great value out of this. If you did, please share it. Tag a friend that needs some encouragement or hope. And I can't wait to hear your success story. And I'll be celebrating you when you win.